Hello. Okay, thank you so much. This is Brother Benson, and I'm here still waiting for my panelists to come so that we can have a conversation this evening. There are quite a lot that has taken place. Maybe just to bring you to speed, what is uh, taking place in the world today. Let me just tell you of some of the what I might call the news. To me, remember there was this issue. DPP orders fresh investigation into the death of gospel musician Betty Bayo. I think all of you know. It's roughly, if not a month, Betty Bayo was a gospel musician in the country, and Betty Bayo lost her life the other day. But there were so many questions that were being asked by the family members. So and I know over a few days they wrote a letter to the DPP. They wanted to know more about his death because things were not the stories that were being given by especially the people who were around her are not connecting the dots. So maybe they've now invited the DPP. So this is what, as we say, he has. Yeah, so this is he has the DPP has given the DCI 7 days to do so and forward the findings to his office. This follows the family letter that was written to all DPP citing foul play on to the death of Betty Bayo. So that is something that also is quite much interesting. You know, the other day we spoke about Ojuang's father. That all of you know what happened to the teacher Albert Ojuang, and how the Gen Z came out and voiced their concern, and it became a matter of national conversation. And this is what is happening. This is from Ojuang's father. Meshak Ojuang, the father of the late slain teacher Albert Ojuang, has lamented saying, Wakenya haswa vijana wa Gen Z na waomba mnisaidie kama mlivyo poza sauti hadi dunia ikajua kuwa Albert ameuliwa. Kuna mchezo naona inaendelea hapa, wanasema kesi haiwezi kuendelea bila CCTV footage, hali wanajua vizuri kuwa ndani ya jela hakuna CCTV. Hiyo namnukuu babake Ojwang. Unajua, this story of Ojwang's father, it's quite much interesting. And if you've been in the country, or if you've been following up on what happened to Ojwang and how the Gen Z came out from all walks of life, everybody, they came and they protested and they wanted justice to Ojwang's father. In the end, there was a money that was contributed, especially the president contributed, and the Right Honorable and Gladys Wanga, until they built a house for him. And immediately that the money was given, there was a way in which the change of his messaging changed. And I think that did not go well with the majority of the Gen Z. And also, you can remember, also there was this issue of the money being withdrawn from M-Pesa that was being operated by, his M-Pesa. Remember, Eric also came on board, and there was so much that was happening around. So the father now is calling upon Kenyans again to come in handy to at least wapase sauti ili maneno yake ikuja kujulikana. Inamaanisha kuwa ni kama kesi inaisha. Unajua, sasa hayo pia ni kitu ambacho kiko kipaumbele. Najua you are aware that one of the Supreme Court judges, that is Ibrahim Muhammad, died, and he was buried today at I think Kariako Cemetery today. And this is quite much significant, especially when you look at the politics, and you look at the Supreme Court. I know he was supposed to retire by January 2026, but this one happened before his retirement. But like, when you look at the High Court, when you look at the Court of, especially the Apex Court, the Supreme Court, to me, sometimes I usually say that it is a political court, because you find that the president is the person who is allowed to appoint the judges who are sitting in the Supreme Court. So you will find that the president sometimes might appoint the judges who are friendly to him, or the judges who are might be his friends. Because I take a typical example. When you look at other Supreme Courts, especially you take a look at the United States Supreme Court, you find that the those who are being appointed at Supreme Court, it really matters, especially it is between the Democrats and the Republican. And the Democrats, when the time comes for them to appoint, because like what usually happens if the Supreme Court judge passes on or retires, the president who is president at that current moment, yeah, will be the person appointing. And what usually happens, you find that you appoint people who are allied to your party and people who are allied to your ideals. You don't just appoint. I can remember when President Trump came into power, that was his first time running for presidency. Actually, he appointed at least like 3, if I'm not wrong. I might check with that. And it was a big issue because it was a very big issue, and the Democrats actually were not very happy with it, because like they brought in complaints, especially from the judges that were appointed, because I know he appointed one lady and 2 gentlemen. And especially his first appointment actually was supposed to be done during Obama administration. When he was on his way out, he appointed another judge there, but like the Republican did not approve or allow even to have a sitting in the Senate to approve his appointment. So what happened is that when Trump came in, he had that opportunity, and that's how he found himself, appointing. So when you look at even in our country, especially, you look at the Supreme Court, because like Supreme Court, most of the time, it deals with election, and especially, I know it deals with other matters, but when people usually take a keen interest of it is especially when people go for petition, especially to do with election. That is when it is so much people focus on it. But we'll see what will happen. And remember, we are just we are almost in 2026. What does it mean? It means that we need to have a Supreme Court judge. So that will be the opportunity for President William Ruto to appoint any judge, a Kenyan. But all in all, I know it is usually influenced politically. So that is something that will play part in it. Let me take this opportunity also to welcome Judith Karuitha. Let him contact Ruto. This is the problem when you receive a blood bribe money. Why should then Gen Z get involved now? He is his own comes back, and let Ojwang dad ask the help. Yeah, it is true. Uh, uh, I don't know how now to frame this because I can remember, it all walks of life, especially all the Gen Z from all walks of life came and really protested about. They wanted to know what happened to Ojwang. We saw the CCTV that came from Bagadi Hospital. We saw or we read the people who were taken to court, including the OCS, is it Talam? And we know there was also IG. Lagat was being accused of the person, but now the court process cannot go or cannot proceed. I mean, like they cannot be proceed because the footage has not been provided. So the family, especially the father, is requesting or is giving his consent to the Gen Z to come out and at least hype or waongelee hayo mambo, ndio wale ambao wanahusika wapate kufanya vyema, kesi iendelee. Still quite much trending, and the questions are still lingering, and A postmortem report. This was done yesterday, but it is still something that everybody's talking about. Cyrus Jirongo died from severe injuries to the chest. Government chief pathologist Johnson Oburu says the injuries affected the heart with 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 the left ventricle rupture and the aorta, the main blood vessels from the heart, severed. So, and I think they also had independent pathologist or the family pathologist also agreed with the report. So it is true, and that he was involved in an accident. I also saw CCTV was being explained on how he came to the petrol station, but he did not pump any petrol and he left immediately. Then on his way out, that is when they had that uh, accident. So that is what is happening. This is also what is happening in our neighbors. This one also happened yesterday. Donald J. Trump bans all Tanzanians from entering US. He, he, he. Sasa kama wewe ni Mtanzania, umejua kwamba hakuna kuingia mjini, umekatishwa, hakuna sana kuingia mjini. Thank you so much. And for those who are coming from Kisumu today, during the day, the senior journalist and the chair for the Luo Journalist Association, that is the late Festus Amimo, arrived in Kisumu, was airlifted to Kisumu, and good number of people, especially the population from Kisumu, welcome Amimo. Then he headed to Awasi. Now they are doing night vigil at Awasi, where he will be buried tomorrow. So that is first as a memo, and we still condole with the family and pray our prayers to the family for God to give them strength to go through what right now, to provide them with the strength to go through, what they're the death of their son. I also saw a video surfaced, especially from Amimo's mother, the day when Amimo bought him some good couches, and the mother was very happy. And despite all that is being written about Amimo and all that happened, the stories that people are saying, but there's another side of Amimo that we saw, especially how he surprised the mother. And if you go and ask the people who from Awasi area, they will tell you how Amimo has been beneficial to that society surrounding that place. He has done so much for that society, and the community, I think, have lost one of their best, and so we are waiting for tomorrow. Why is Wetangula and the ministry man not talk? Yeah, what is happening with Wetangula is that he's said to be the last person to be seen by the deceased. So I think he rather keep quiet, because like whenever you will talk, the questions will come. Ulifanya nini? Asanteni sana. Kuna mengi ambayo inaendelea nchini, ambapo tutazungumzia kwa leo. Hebu acha nione tena kama kuna any story ambayo labda naweza sema hapa ambayo ni ya muhimu sana. Okay, thank you very much, everyone who is watching. This is Brother Benson. I'm still waiting for my brother so that we can come and have a conversation of today about what happened. But let me go to or do a recap on what happened on the Luo festival, the Penyu Luo. I mean the Luo nation, in English, if I may say. There was political part of it, and as we were celebrating, or as the Luo community were celebrating their cultures, they had to go to Nyatike, where there was things to do with boat riding and all that. That's where like majority of the games were game and entertainment. But there's something that came out and which relates to ODM, and this begs the question: what next for people like Edwin Sifuna, Babu Owino, Otsosti, and other members of ODM who are not in the same line of thought with Oburu Odinga, Gladys Wanga, Mbadi, and all those who are supporting the broad-based government? What is next for them? That is something that um, is quite my. Yes, okay. There could be a reason for that. Brother Benson, I saw the elders doing funeral rituals for CJ. I didn't know that Luo culture is used everywhere. Yeah, yeah, there are, and if you are very 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 keen, though they did not show it. Sometimes what usually happens, especially when the body comes, when the body is brought home, one of the things that usually happens is that he cannot pass through the main gate. They will have to pass the body just besides the gate. That is how it works. But there's so many rituals that are being done to the dead. Mukuru houses handing over 2 term. Yes, Laban niliona hayo, nikaona anauliza kwani hii ndi nyinyi mmejenga, hii ndi nyinyi nimejenga. But even if they were being handed over, maybe those are the people who bought them, or the people who will be paying back some money. Affordable housing is one of the good ideas. Good ideas and good projects that president will be remembered with. But at the same time, there are so many questions that we've always asked about affordable housing that until today, we've not received those answers, Ben. And I don't think at any time soon we will get those answers. So Laban, as they are being handed over, we still have those questions with us. We need to know more about the affordable housing, especially when it comes to the ownership. That is one. Secondly, when everybody is being deducted, what about those who are not deducted? Because there's also what we call the purchasing power. When we talk about the purchasing power, is that there are people, or for example, I can talk about the Kenyans who are living in diaspora, because what we know, those houses that they will be bought. Yeah, you can buy them as Kenyans. That is what is there, so that you buy them. Now, what about those who are living in diaspora, or those who are in diaspora and they have the purchasing power? They can purchase the houses without paying taxes or without being deducted as a tax. So so those are some of the questions that we need to 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 get the answers. So, and is a good project, and we cannot say no. But if those questions can be answered, our people's worry is that, Laban, is that when a next, or if a new government or a new regime, just in case, capture power, it means there are so many litigations that will follow. Because one, the land ownership, that is something that will follow. Secondly, the deduction that is taken, and the people are still paying. People will go to court and ask for refund, especially of their money, especially, and it will big government a big time. So because those are questions in the public domain, Mr. Laban Musiani. So if you can come and clarify that, then that one will be okay. So that is that. Now let's dive into what happened, especially at Penyulo yesterday, or the day before yesterday. The leaders were there, all leaders, especially who talk about the governors for the Luo counties. All of them were there. That is include Ochila Yako, includes James Orengo. I did not see Anyang' Nyong'o. I don't know, but there was a representation of the same, all the Luo uh, governors were around, and who is who in the Luo community. And this one provided a platform for those who have a divergence view, especially when it comes to the ODM and everybody, and that's where they air their issues. I can remember Orengo at least still maintains and gave caution that before we, the Luo community, get into the agreement, they need to investigate more and come up with a clear structure. In the process, Badi really disagreed with Orengo, you know. But what we need now to ask ourselves, especially like Laban, because like from the speech alone of Oburu, as you know, Oburu, he's the ODM leader, party leader, as we speak right now. And what Oburu said to President William Ruto, that we will form the government, we will form the government. And if you look at it, yeah, if you look at it into a broader perspective, ODM as we speak today, there are people, there are quite a number of them, not people, let me withdraw that. There are members of ODM who do not agree or do not buy the idea of broad-based government. And this one include Edwin Sifuna, Babu Owino, Caleb Amisi. You look at Otiende Amolo is kind of like 50-50, and maybe majority of them, the leaders who have not come out publicly to say that they don't agree with the broad-based government. But what Oburu said, that we are going to form the government, yeah, um, in the next government, which means there's a deal. From what Oburu says, there's a deal that they've reached. And this begs the question about what is the role purpose of a political party. When you form a political party, one of the the number one priority in the list is to capture power. Is to capture power. And that's what ODM for the last 20 years, that is what ODM has always uh, fight for, always to capture power and make sure that they form the government. But they've never had that opportunity to form, or there are so many questions that surrounds the electoral process, especially when it comes to the presidency of Raila Amolo Odinga. So many times, especially there's that say that Raila has always been denied his victory, or his victory has always been stolen, or the victory of ODM has always been stolen. And if you listen to Oburu and all he said, especially his speech, one of the things that comes out that Oburu now, I don't think they are interested in the 10-point agenda, especially if you listen to the majority of ODM members who were given an opportunity to speak. They're not interested in the 10-point agenda. Their main focus is how can we form the government and what are we going to be rewarded, because like if you listen to Oburu at the end, he said that for that presidency, you wachana nayo, So it means as we speak today, maybe Oburu, being a party leader, he has evaluated or he has investigated the party and looked at the party keenly, and he has been convinced beyond reasonable doubt that ODM cannot fill in a presidential candidate. That is what Oburu is telling us, that ODM cannot fill in a presidential candidate. That is what to me, that is a suggestion that I'm giving, because if he said that we are going to form the next government so that we can get more and more. So it is not about forming even the government. It is about the reward. Hey, msimama barigani. Hello. Okay, akipata nafasi ataingia. So when you listen to Oburu, so some of the things that I tell you is about concluding is one, he has made his mind that the ODM as a party cannot fill in a presidential candidate, and that is contrary to what some of the ODM members are saying, especially last week when he was talking about ODM should fail in a presidential candidate for 2027 because the main agenda for a political party is to occupy power. You know, that is the main agenda for a political party, is to occupy power. But if you cannot occupy power, you know, it means Oburu himself has now conceded that we are not going. But what about those who have other opinion? What does it mean for them? Hey, Miguda, habari gani?
Niko salama kakangu, habari yako vipi? Na uko katika studio?
Niko katika studio. Najaribu kuzungumza hapa ama kukuwa na mazungumzo kidogo, lakini sijachukua muda sana. Jambo ambalo nilikuwa nimezungumzia vitu vingi tu. Nimezungumzia nchi ya Tanzania ambaye wamepigwa na tukio baada ya Trump kusema kwamba kuna Mtanzania ambao ataingia jiji kuu ama kuna Mtanzania ataenda Amerikani. Hiyo ipo katika zile habari vipasho tudogo ambayo tuliangalia. Jambo la pili ambayo pia nimezungumzia sana sana mwanahabari ambaye pia alikuwa ni mwenyekiti wa wanahabari ambao wanatoka eneo la Luo Nyanza, mwenda zake CJ, you know, and kwa wale ambao labda hawakupata nafasi, unajua wakati wa kifo chake mengi yaliandikwa, mengi yalisemwa katika kifo chake. Wengi kwa sababu ni kitu ambacho kilikuwa katika mtandao na pia ni kitu ambacho kilikuwa katika nyao za watu wengi walikuwa wanazungumzia. Lakini kama wale ambao wamepata nafasi kukuwa naye karibu, ni mtu ambaye alifanya mengi kwa jamii yake, na ni mtu ambaye hata katika familia yake, nilikuwa naambia mandugu zangu hapa, kuna kanda ya video ambayo alinunulia mamake viti ama tunaita coach za saizi. Mama alifurahi sana. Mama alishindwa kuonyesha furaha. Ndio maana nikasema tunaweza andika, tunaweza sema, lakini alikuwa ni mtu ambaye ako na maisha yake ingine ambao ilikuwa imejawa na mazuri katika mji pale ambao alikuwa anaishi na katika na hata mafamilia yake. So hata saa zingine tukiandika pia tujaribu pia kuandika yale mazuri ya mwenda zake. Hao tumezungumzia pia babake Ojwang ambaye anaona kwamba haki inachelewa. Akatoa rai kwa sana sana vijana wa kizazi kipya, kwa sababu anasema kwamba hao ndio walipasa sauti, maneno yake ikasikika, Ojwang akajulikana. Alikuwa anasema kwamba zile kanda ambayo labda zilikuwa katika CCTV hazijapelekwa kotini, so inamaanisha kuwa kesi haiwezi endelea, na ni kwamba hapo nditakuwa kikomo kikwake yeye. Sasa alikuwa na warai vijana wa kizazi kipya tena wachomoke, wazungumzie hii maneno, ndio hawa watu wasikie, ndio kesi iendelee. Hiyo pia tumezungumzia. Naona pia ndugu yangu Msimamo yuko pale, na hapo ndio sasa nikakuja kuzungumzia mambo ya Oburu, kwa sababu kulingana na Oburu, anaona kwamba lazima wataungana wakuwe katika serikali ya muungano ikifika 2027. So hayo tu kwa machache, labda kama uko na kitu ya kusema.
Asante sana kakangu. Kwanza ningependa kutambua kama yule mwenye amechukua nafasi yake na kufika katika studio.
Mm.
Vile ningependa pia kutambua rafiki yangu Msimamo, na hapo hivyo niko na uwezo ya kuona marafiki wetu hapo katika comment section. Nimeona rafiki yetu, ndugu yetu Gudia, pia nimeona rafiki yetu, ndugu yetu Laban Misiani na wengine. Kwanza kabisa ningependa kuzungumzia mambo umesema mambo kuhusu mambo ya nchi jirani Tanzania. Unapata hapa katika studio yetu tumewazungumzia mambo ya haki za kibinadamu. Na tulisema ya kwamba iwapo unaweza kuwa yule unatenda mabaya kwa binadamu, unakiuka zile haki za binadamu, kipole tu hivi, mwishowe sheria itakupata. Na hata kama umechukua muda kiasi gani ama hata kama umechelewa, kuna ipo siku ambao sheria itakupata kwa kona. Sasa wale marafiki zetu jirani, leo hii mimi ninasema tu nafurahi kwa sababu tumeonya Wakenya wengi, haswa hata rais wetu tumemuonya, na wale wenzetu ambao wanakeuka zile haki za raia, ya kwamba unaweza fanya hizi vituko, lakini kuna siku sheria itakupata. Juu hakuna mtu yeyote ambaye ameruhusiwa kiulimwengu kuchukua maisha ya binadamu wenzake. Kila mtu akona ile haki ya kuwa hai, na vile hakuna mtu yote hata awe polisi hakuna hiyo haki ya kuchukua maisha ya mwenzake. Ya pili, ningependa pia kutuma rambirambi zangu kwa yule mtangazaji Festus Amimo ambaye leo hii ako katika boma lake huko Awasi. Unajua hapa Awasi ni kama boda, na vile alikuwa yule mtangazaji hodari, alikuwa anapendwa na wengi, lakini yote tisa ningependa kusema alikuwa amesaidia jamii. Kuna wakati unapokuwa na shida, kwa mfano shida ya karo, shida ya hata ukitaka kwenda kuoa mke wako, ama ukitaka mambo ya matibabu, kuna vile alikuwa anazungumza na wanasiasa haswa wanaotoka eneo la Nyanza, walikuwa nakuchangia kidogo, wanakupatia kitu kidogo, na watu wengi walisaidika kupitia hiyo mchango wake. Na vile yeye pia kibinafsi hakuwa mtu tu hivi, alikuwa mtu akona pesa kidogo hivi, na hiyo pesa yake pia alisaidia watu wengi. Na vile hapa mbeleni tulikuwa tuna imani ya kwamba huenda angekuwepo hata gavana au mbunge, but tunasema tu mpango ya binadamu na ya Mungu ni tofauti. Jambo la tatu, tumesema kuhusu rafiki yetu mwenda zake Albert Ojwang ambaye alikutana na kifo chake katika kituo cha polisi. Mimi ningependa tu kusema tu, hapo awali tulikuwa na mawazo mazuri na nia nzuri kusaidia familia, lakini walitukuza ya kwamba sisi vijana hatuna maono mwafaka. Sasa waliona ya kwamba wachukue hela, na vile walisema wakati huo ya kwamba wao ni watu wazima ambaye mtu akishakufa atazikwa. Sasa vile tulikuwa na hiyo motisha ya kupigania haki zake mwenda zake, leo hii kuna mambo mengi za kufanya. Hatuwezi kufanya kazi moja kila siku, ya kwamba sisi kila saa tukipata nafasi ni kutetea ama kupigania haki zake mwenda zake. Tuko na vitu mingi, tuko na jukumu ya kuhakikisha kwamba vijana wamejitokeza kwa wengi na kujiandikisha kama wapiga kura. Vile tuko na jukumu ya kufanya kampeni, tuko na jukumu ya kusaidia wenzetu waelewe vile mambo ya serikali iko. Tuko na shughuli nyingi. Sasa kwa sasa hivi watu wache tushughulie shughuli zingine. Iwapo tukipata serikali tutawashughulikia baadaye, lakini hii pia ikuwe funzo ya kwamba wakati watu wako nyuma yako wanakutetea, ama wako katika mahakama ama eneo tofauti kukutafutia we haki zako, ufai kukeuka mawazo ya watu wengi. Jambo la mwisho, umezungumza mambo ya Oburu ya kwamba Oburu, lakini ya kupata Oburu anafanya
Miguda, kabla labda hujakuja kwa mada ya Oburu, kwa sababu itakuwa ni jambo ambalo tutakuwa tunazungumzia kwa upana sana. Unajua, umezungumza mambo ya Albert Ojwang, ingawaje mimi niligusia tu kidogo tu, lakini unajua, ukikaa chini na utafakari yale yalitokea na jinsi watu walitokea kwa wingi, kwa sababu wale waliotokea na wale ambao walikuwa wanapasa sauti kuhusu kwamba tulikuwa tunataka haki ya huyu kijana ni wale ambao walikuwa wanataka nchi ambayo imenyooka. Hawakukuwa wanafanyia tu Ojwang, lakini walikuwa wanafanyia nchi, kwa sababu ni vijana ambao walikuwa wamependa nchi yao, wakasema hapana, nchi yetu haiwezi kuwa hivi. Na wakati walikuwa wanafanya hivyo, walikuwa wanajua kwamba haya yatatokea. Walikuwa wanapigania kitu ambacho saizi babake analilia kwa saizi, kitu ambacho sasa unaona baba anasema kwamba anaona kwamba kesi haiwezi endelea kwa sababu zile kanda za CCTV ama video za kanda za CCTV hazijapatikana. Hiyo ndio sasa, na ni kwa kweli hiyo shida si mahakama, shida si mahakama, kwa sababu mahakama itakuwa inaendesha kesi kulingana na yale ambao umeweka ukasema kwamba hii ndio kitu ambacho tumesema kwamba jambo hili kilitokea. Lakini labda ukiangalia kwa undani, kuna kitu ambacho fedha haiwezi nunua haki. Haki haiwezi nunuliwa na fedha, ama sidhani kama kuna pesa ambayo inaweza nunua haki. Pesa ni kitu ambacho inaweza kukupumbaza tu kwa muda sana sana. Unajua, wakati maneno kama haya yametokea, hata wakati wa Kenya ambao walikuwa wametokeza kuchanga, hawakukuwa wanachanga kwamba labda hii itakuwa ni suluhisho ya jambo ambalo limetokea. Hapana, ni ile kuwa Wakenya walikuwa na kuvuta machozi, wakachukua lile viatu chako wakaivaa wenyewe. Ile uchungu ambao mzazi alikuwa nayo, akasema wakachukua kama ndugu zetu, akasema huyu ndugu yetu lazima haki yake ipatikane. Lakini wakati wa Kenya ama wale vijana ambao walikuwa wamejitokezea, ni kama moyo yao ama moyo zao zilikufa wakati tamko la babake. Hapo ndio moyo yalikufa. Majana wakasema basi sawa, tumemalizana. So saa zingine ni vyema saa zingine pia kuachia sheria na wale wanapigania haki ichukue mkondo wake. Usijaribu kuweka labda kizuishi hapo mbele. Sasa saizi mtu alimjengea nyumba, si ni Governor Gladys Wanga. Wakati hiyo si kuna machakula, wakati ambapo kesi ilikuwa inaendelea, kuna chakula walikuwa wanaleta pale. Mimi nasikia kana kuna wabunge walikuwa wanaleta vyakula pale. Ilikuwa ni vyakula na ulikuwa unarembeshwa. Siku ya kuzika walikufanyia zote. Haiwezi nunua haki. Hiyo ndio jambo nilikuwa nataka kusema.
Hapo umenena vizuri. Ndipo hata mimi nimesema iwapo niko na jukumu ya kutetea na pia jukumu ya kuhakikisha kwamba nimepigania Wakenya kwa haki zao, lakini kuna wakati pia unasema kama Wakenya walijitokeza kwa wingi na wakakubaliana kwa kauli moja kwamba tumalizane na hii maneno once and for all, lakini unapata wale ambao tunaita katika lugha ya Kimombo victims, ambaye alikuwa wazazi wake hawakujiunga na Wakenya. Leo hii saizi tuko na mambo mengi sana kama nchi ya kutatua. Ile wakati tulikuwa na nafasi mwafaka na pia mahakama zilikuwa tayari kuwasikiza hao wazazi na mahakama pia ilikuwa tayari kuwasikiza wananchi. Na wakati huo tulikuwa na ushahidi ya kutosha. Kwa mfano, una zile kanda za CCTV ambao zilichezwa kutoka Mbagathi, hospitali ya Mbagathi, na vile vile uliona pia polisi hawakutoa kanda za CCTV katika eneo la Central Police Station. Wakati tuko na evidence overwhelmed ya kuhakikisha kwamba tumefunga hawa majamaa, ndipo unapata sasa hapo tena kuna story ilitokea, mara gavana wa Mabei, mara babake, mara 2 million. Sasa hizo usarakasi, sisi pia ni watu wazima, sisi pia ni watu ambaye tuko na fikra. Hatuwezi fanya jambo moja kila mwaka ama kila siku. Vile nimekuambia, mambo ni mengi hapa nchini na mambo ni mengi sana. Hata saa hizi kwanza katika hizi tuko likizoni, kama kwa mfano kama mimi niko likizoni, lakini hata saa hizi unapata kwamba kuna vitu mingi nafanya kabisa kabla nikuje katika studio. Hata kuna mpango mengi kabisa kuanzia leo mpaka tarehe 1, mambo ziko mengi, unakutana, kuna mikutano hapa na pale. Unajua pia vijana wadogo wanaanza siasa zao saa hizi. Tuko na vitu mingi tunafanya. Sasa hatuwezi tena kuacha vitu zetu ambaye ni faida kwa nchi ya Kenya tutatue shida ya mtu mmoja. Ingawapo unapata ya kwamba shida ya mtu mmoja ni ya sisi sote, lakini wakati huo tulitokeza kwa wingi kuwatetea, lakini walituangusha kama familia. Sasa hizi tungesema wangoje kwanza tupate kenye tunatafuta, alafu baadaye tutakuja kuwatetea. Lakini saa hizi pia watu wache pia tutetee vitu zingine ama watu wengine, ili si ati wao pekee ndio tunafanya kazi yao. Mimi si ati naongea kwa vibaya, lakini unakumbuka hapa tu tulililia hiyo wakati, wa Kenya wengi walilia sana. Unapata wananchi walitoa machozi wakasema, kwani hiyo 2 milioni ni pesa ngapi? Si tungewachangia kama wananchi? Kwani hata kama mngesema 10 milioni si tungewapatia, lakini tupate haki. Sasa sisi ni kama wanatuona tu kama watoto na tumepita. Sasa ningependa kusema tu hii iwe funzo kwa Wakenya ya kwamba wakati wananchi wamejitokeza kwa wingi na wakati tuko na ushahidi ya kutosha, usiangushe wananchi.
Okay. Asante sana Miguda kwa hayo. Ni jambo ambalo inafaa tuzungumzie na mi pia nataka kurai maviongozi, kwa sababu mi nadhani nakumbuka vizuri gavana wa Homa Bay Wanga alisimama na babake Ojwang akasema kwamba haki itapatikana, na kwa sababu yeye ni kiongozi ambao alikuwa amesimamia mpaka kujenga nyumba, nadhani inafaa pia yeye achukue kipaumbele, akue kutafuta hali ya haki, amtetee huyu baba, amwambie basi ile haki lazima ipatikane, kwa sababu yeye ndiye alisimama. Hata kwamba pesa, yeye ndiye alikuwa amesema pesa zilipitia kwake, ile kitu ambacho kilisema wazi wazi. So hiyo ni jambo ambalo lipo sasa. Miguda, kuna maneno ama katika jana sherehe ya tuseme kwamba yalitokea kule Nyatike ambapo rais alihudhuria. When president attended the Luo festival, first of all he was coronated as a Luo elder, and this is something that I always question. The coronation that usually happens, because the other time it was Museveni, and today it was yesterday it was President William Ruto. And if you look at when you are an elder to a community, there's a responsibility that come with it, because one, you have to understand the values of that community. And being an elder in a community is not a political, it is not a political position. It is, I can call it, it is like a community court where there are so many issues that are being addressed, ranging from what is affecting our community. For instance, let's say that, for example, like right now, we would say that when you go to the Luo region, there's something to do with the leadership, because the leaders are not speaking in one voice, because it's a community thing, So that is one, and maybe if they're not speaking in one voice, because like you have to bring them together, not to speak in one voice, to let them give space for each and every leader to speak their mind, And being an elder is also, you're a counselor to the community. You counsel the community on issues that are emergence issues, And so that is what we call being elder. But now, when we say that President William Ruto was coronated as an elder, first of all, he doesn't understand the dialect of that community. he doesn't understand the traditions of that community. How then do you become a elder?
Okay, that's a very well thought out question, because most of the time you find out that people are only focusing on the political angle those coronations are usually taking.
Mhm.
Like what happened previously when Museveni was coronated in Shire County. Museveni was targeting the Luo votes in Uganda, kwenye
Mm,
Padola, only their Luo. So by the time it's going to, the majority of Luos are in Kenya. If you go back to Uganda, you'll say that, okay, and Raila was a Luo leader in the
mm,
entire continent.
mhm,
So they will tell, okay, we were with your leader, and if you associate with Raila back in your country, back in Congo, back in Uganda, back in Tanzania, back in South Sudan. And that's how Magufuli also won the Luo votes in Tanzania, because he was a close ally to Raila. So being a close ally to Raila brings you
mhm.
more votes in
Yeah.
those regions, particularly the people who live there. That has
Mhm,
been a norm, and that's is a political angle. And Ruto also is doing a political angle. When I was looking at when Ruto was being coronated, he was given the stool, he was also given the shield, he was given the spear, he was given the fly whisk, he was
mhm.
given the headgear. At the same time, he was also given the animal skin. Those are the traditional outfits. And also, you need to be given the akala,
No,
the shoes
Mi-
we used to wear. So,
Miguda, Miguda, I agree with it is a traditional outfit, but those are, when you look at in Luo community, especially when they give you the headgear, the fly whisk, and all that, the regalia, and you sit on that small stool, that is a sign of authority. It means that the authority rests with you. Yeah, despite the fact that it's a traditional gear that they usually put, but you can find that in the elder, when you look at the in the group of elders, all of them can be elder, but there's one person that will be coronated to be a spokesperson. The leader of all them will be given that stool, because that stool is a sign of authority, and the shield also is a sign of authority. So when we're looking at traditionally the way he was coronated, it means that he has been given the authority, the leadership authority, that the signs of authority that you are. But I think maybe it's political. But if you look at critically, mm,
yeah, that's what I was trying to say, that because according to me, understand culture very well.
mhm,
It was supposed to be the way you are saying, that culturally, you
mhm,
are supposed to be, it's supposed to be the symbol of authority. And
mhm,
it's only served for elders, not only all elders, but even in the midst of the council of elders, only
mm,
one person is
yeah,
being given all those things. And
mhm,
remember, even at my age right now, there are things I cannot do in the culture. Like me, you can't find me with an headgear. What am I doing with that? Even a fly whisk, you can't find me with a fly whisk. That's why you have seen most of our youthful MPs, people like Babu or you not see them with the fly whisk, those caps. There are certain age you are permitted to. Like even me, you can't find me with a color or animal skin or
mm,
the stool. I can't even sit on that stool because I understand it very well. You can it can only happen, for instance, like when a king died and there was some hair, like in the case of Raila Odinga
mm,
died
yeah,
and there is Junior. Junior is permitted to wear headgear and to carry
mhm,
all those, because Junior currently is the son to the departed king. But what I want to say right now is that because as I have told about culture, customs, it is a wrong when culturally it's very wrong,
mhm,
because the president does not understand the Luo dialect. The president does not understand the customs and the culture. The president, at his age, is not permitted to be sitting on those things and also wearing all those things and all the privileges, because he's enjoying privileges that actually is not he has not reached that level because he's too young. Ruto is too young to be ordained as the culture leader or the Luo led elder. His age is too young to, because people like Oburu are there, people like Orengo their age, and some of them have not even been permitted. So what I'm trying to say is that, in Luo customs or culture or constitution is like the one for the Great Britain, we have what we call, it is not written, it is non-written constitution, because we mastered our culture, we mastered our customs by our heart or our mind. You master, you know them. You don't need to refer to a book. You don't need to refer to something. It's things that you grew up knowing. You are being taught by elders, and you grow. We grew, knew them. So you know everything by yourself. So Ruto does not understand anything concerns the culture, the dialect. So it's not permitted. That's why in my initial submission, I institute my statement by saying it was political angle, not cultural. So I want to
Okay.
treat it as a political angle, not cultural.
Okay. Thank you so much. Hey, Joseph Abarigani.
Yeah, how are you guys? I can see my MP, brother Miguda is here. You know, I'm calling him Mheshimiwa nowadays. He's Mheshimiwa.
Quite anyway. Oh, Ishimiwa bad.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
Mheshimiwa. You see, even the style of facade he has is
The, the,
so.
the people who are coming to transform Kenya, right?
Yeah, we need the young leaders like the
Mhm.
likes of Akina Miguda to transform this country. I really like it. That's why I'm calling him Mheshimiwa. I'll call him Mheshimiwa till he becomes the Mheshimiwa indeed.
Okay, thank
Sitamwita
you.
sasa Miguda. Miguda si jina mzuri sana, muita Mheshimiwa. Miguda
Mwesh.
tumeanza kumuita Miguda, so ni Mwesh.
Okay.
I want to comment on what Miguda has said, that they are customary or what he was saying. So he's talking about Luo custom. It's like a British. It's like the British. They don't have a constitution. I want to tell him also our customary law is same like you as Miguda. We don't write it on stone. We have it been transferred from elders to us. So
Mm.
I think it's the same thing. Maybe I don't know for others, but I think it's the same thing between us in our customs.
Okay, thank you so much. And if Miguda, I don't know whether if you come to the area of Kanyamkago, just to let to give you, there's something that is called uh, I just for I thought of it here. It's like the person Kanyamkago clan, especially in Uriri constituency, is a very big clan. So they usually have one person that usually speaks on their behalf. And the other day they coronated that person, is called Owino Deny. Used to be a councillor during the Kanu regime. It can be called Ogai, somebody who speaks on behalf of the community. So, and it was so traditional, and they don't just give it to any other person. When, let's say that when his time will come, and like it is like if he dies, that one cannot be taken out of him. If only he dies, that is when, like, they can look for another person who comes from that clan and they can coronate them. So and what Joseph has always you and Joseph have said, some of the traditions, African traditions, they are not written, they are oral, and they used to be conveyed. It was oral to the ear, and they are mastered, and they were mastered. So what happened, it's about political, but it is not cultural. And you've seen several times they're being coronated to be elders of Kaya, blah blah. You cannot be elder in almost three 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 communities. Anyway, that is just by the way. Joseph, are you still there?
Yeah, sorry, I had to change my device. You know, this device sometimes some people call it. So when I'm talking, it always disrupts me. That's why I changed my device. So
Okay.
I'm using the one they don't call.
All right, thank you so much. And I was here for 1 hour, so maybe Miguda I might be on the background. So this is what is happening. I'm very much focused on the speech of Oburu, because from the speech of Oburu, there are so many things that I picked from it. One, it tells you that ODM, as we speak, they have. I'm looking at as Oburu being the party leader of that ODM. It means he has investigated and he has consulted and come out or concluded that they cannot fill in a presidential candidate. That is one. Secondly, he talked about the reward. And specifically, when he was talking about the reward was not going to all ODM members, the people of this region. And when he says the people of this region, it means the region where he was. You know, when we form the next government, you should give us more and more and more. Another thing that also I derived from that speech is about what do ODM stands for? Because from the beginning, we always knew that ODM, what they want is to capture power. And that is what even Winnie Odinga said, that the sole purpose of a political party formation is to capture power, and ODM should field a presidential candidate. That is what the it should be for a political party. And another thing also I came to realize about Oburu's speech, there was nothing mentioned about the 10-point agenda. You know, it was about the 2027 and the positions, you know. So that is what I came. Another thing also, maybe this is what President William Ruto said this year, which means this year, which we are only 1 month to, President William Ruto has allocated 1.7 billion to do 10 roads in Migori County. Migori, you're coming from Migori, maybe you will assist us with that. Then he has also allocated 23 billion to affordable housing. So as we speak, Migori alone has gotten something to do with 4 billion this year. That is development from what the president said. So maybe to start with you, Miguda might come after Joseph. Do you agree with what Oburu has said, that now the deal is done?
Thank you, Brother Benson. I think what Oburu Odinga has said, it sit well with them as ODM leaders, because you know now they are feeling warmth when they are close to the government. But it's okay. The question is really, are the citizens feeling the same? You know, you can be feeling that you are in the heart of the broad-based government, and you are the minister or the CS, and you have closeness to Ruto that you can go to his office. That one is quite well, because they are going to seek for development. You know, this country, it's very funny, Brother Benson. We need to be close to the president so that we can seek for developments. And it's a funny gig also for not only for Luo Nyanza. I can see it also in where I come from. People who have been having power for the past 20 years, 20 years consecutively, that they need to be close to the president so that they can seek for development. So that is as things stands by, Brother Benson. So it's very unfair. It's okay for the people who are getting the development right now from Migori and Homa Bay County. But we truly ask ourselves, what about the other regions? You know me, I'm a person who is thinking of, we have had developments in certain regions like the Central or the Mount Kenya. And we have been having kind of this not equal, balanced share of resources in the country. And it's good if your leaders are the ones who are going to go and seek for these developments. And the problem is, how are they going to go at it at what Raila Odinga's last comment was? Because his comments were, we are going to field a candidate from ODM. So what I can really ask is, maybe they are going to fold the party, UDA, and Ruto is going to go at it as the president with the ODM party. Because if they are going to go as by what the late Raila Odinga said, ODM will find a candidate, I think it is best suited that Ruto becomes the second term president with ODM as a party. But if it will not happen like that, Brother Benson, there is one thing that is going to happen clearly. ODM is going to be swallowed by UDA. And truly, ODM after 20 years, Brother Benson, will be, I think it will be a legacy. Well, let's say a legacy of 20 years, but how have you finished your legacy? You have finished your legacy with selling the party to dismantling your party. You know, there is this part is the person who built it. They built it under something. They built it under the strength of fighting for people's democracy. ODM was founded on merit for fighting for people's democracy. It fought for people's democracy in 2007 when they thought the elections were not and the elections were rigged. It fought for people in 2010 when it brought the new constitution. It has been fighting for people when it has been opposition. They have been talking about the what do we call this? The golden bag scandals. They have talked about the SGR scandals. They have talked about all scandals that have been in this country. But now, if you want to truly finish ODM, is take it to government. It will be done. It will be done completely, because these leaders, the way we always say, Miguda will confer with me here, that these ODM leaders were built up by Raila Odinga. All those ODM leaders, most of them, they got their strength from Raila Odinga, and Raila Odinga gave them the strength of always putting up a fight when there is. Yeah, always putting up a fight. You could see even the fiercest bad girl, Millie, was a very strong force in parliament where she could air her views. We could see the likes of Akina Kaluma. We could see Akina Otieno Kajwang. We could see the likes of Akina Rarieda MP is called Tom Ojienda. No, it's called who?
Otiende Amolo.
MP, Otiende Amolo. I really like that guy. Otiende Amolo. You could see the likes of Akina, all the leaders who are from that region. You could see they were fierce in fighting for democracy and fighting for the people of Kenya. So what will truly happen? These guys, their voice will be left out. It will be done. Now, the likes of Akina Babu, they are at a conflict. Akina Sifuna, they are at a conflict because they were built up by that fight in them. Now, I think if they are going to do that to the party, it is going to be hard for them even to be elected as leaders, because what are they going to be talking about? When you try to campaign in 2027 and the opponent who is campaigning against you is going to bring a rap sheet of the things that you have not done, what are you going to try and come and tell them, apana, tuachague serikali sijui? That at that time you could fight and say, baba anatuambia tuende hii direction, hii serikali imefanya hivi na hivi. You could even campaign on those grounds. Most of the people, even in Mount Kenya, most of the people came to power through abusing Raila Odinga the loudest, and that is how they came to power. Now, in Nyanza, they came to power because of fighting against the government. That was most of these leaders. And if they could be seen that they could fight against the government with so much just, so Raila Odinga was bringing them very close and also giving them nominations, most of them. Now, what do you tell me about the likes of Akina Junet Mohammed? Because I'm hearing even they are saying that they are not going to continue being an MP in Suba. He needs to go back to Northeastern so that he can become an MP there. You see, it's becoming a headache to them. But it's okay. Everybody has a democratic right. They are feeling that now it's best to support the government because development is coming. It's good. Fight for your people so that development can come. Even the Mount Kenya leaders were fighting for their developments to come. If they will be in the opposition, they'll still be voicing out their voices. So it's not about ati watu wakishindwa election ati ni kama inakuwa ni big deal. Brother Benson, whether Ruto comes in a second term or he's won, hakuna tofauti ita create. All of we still remain here and people will still hustle the same way there. Sasa wale watu maisha itabadilika kidogo ni akina Miguda, unajua the state atakuwa na security, huwezi mkaribia brother Benson, huwezi mkaribia. But all these other things will be much okay. And there is something you asked in the last. There was something you asked about. I wanted to comment about it. There was something you asked about development, and Brother Benson, I heard we have been told we are going to Singapore, and I don't like to kill a dream. That is a good dream. It's a good dream, by the way. And Kibaki came with a dream called Vision 2030. It was a very good dream. So even Ruto can have his own dream. But the problem is, how can you visualize that dream when you are still having corruption and all this? People are not fighting Ruto's dream. We are not fighting it, by the way. It's a very good dream and it's a very good vision. But the problem is, how will you go at it when you still have corruption
Yeah.
You still have all these things theft in public offices. You still have people who don't want to work for the people. Can you tell me if you can go right now to any ministry of any ministry and come out there without removing some bribes? You know, sometimes even some guy called me. You know, when I was picking my passport the first time, I was told majina zako. You know, I only have 2 names in my ID. That is a shocker. I only have 2 names. Kuna kitu ili happen nikakataa kuingiana vizuri. So that guy told me, I called me and told me, sasa fulani Joseph, ninaona sasa siwezi kupatia passport yako. Passport yako imekataliwa. I asked him, passport imekataliwa, why? Your names haziko sawa. You need to go. I don't remember. He told me I go to which offices in Upper Hill. So I told him okay, wanasema hivyo so lakini tunaweza pata kanjia, unaweza nipatia kama ngiri 7 hivi, naweza jaribu kutengenezea hii mambo. So I told him okay, no problem. Kama imekataliwa wacha tu ikataliwe, mimi nitakuja kujaribu kurudia ingine. Do you know I did not stay even 1 week, my passport came.
Yeah, that's how it happens.
So he was playing with me, nimpatie ngiri 7 then aniambia unaona tumetengeneza mambo, passport imekuja. So since that time brother Benson, now imagine that is the society we are living in.
Yes.
Imagine that is the society we are living in, and we cannot change. If you want to become a Singapore, you need to first change the fabrics of your society. Small things. Hata si vitu kubwa Miguda, tubadilishe vitu kidogo kama hii mambo ya corruption, hii mambo ya ukora, hii mambo ya service delivery. First fix those things, then we can fix the bigger picture. That is all the things that do with infrastructure, everything. Yeah, everything we sort itself. By then, as a man, if you fix all those things, everything will sort out itself. You even be having money. But now, because you're saying 4 billion is being used in Migori, where is that money coming from? Where will it come from? Because as I know, the budget is very tight. We are doing now a 4 trillion budget. That 4 trillion budget, we need to borrow some money, but not only borrowing. We have been told we need 5 trillion for infrastructure boost so that we can go to Singapore. Where is that money coming from? I would like to know. And if they are taxing people from their pockets, how is that money being? How is the system managing it so that they cannot have theft? You know, we came here and we were told SHA work is very good, and we have given 104 billion for it. But after Brother Benson, they said that system cannot be penetrated and cannot have corruption. What did we come to be told later? Duale came and confessed and said that bado kuna corruption. So was that system even okay? So those are really my questions. But as ODM is involved, ODM wacha waendelee tu na gava. It's best for them. They'll have the survival. They'll have the machinery. The problem is, will the MPs be able to come back into Bunge? That is the real question.
All right, thank you so much. And there's something here that at Douglas Kibogong was telling me at Brother Benson. Benson, this year financial year ends in June. Yes, I know that. But if you listen to the president, he said that this year, the 2020 where we are, he has allocated 1 point for the roads and 23 billion for the housing. Yeah, so for this year. So I don't know how that one works. And when you're allocating, I don't know, when you're doing the budgeting, do we specify that, okay, after allocating maybe 20 billion, for instance, in the housing, do you say that even out of 20 years, 20 billion that we have allocated for housing, you in the budget, you be very specific and say that this one is going to Migori, this, or you just wholesomely, we can say that in the housing project, we've allocated 20 billion. So it's upon the executive to know that what this and this is going where and where. Okay.
You know, I'm asking myself a question. They are saying we are allocating 20 billion to go to housing. What about the money that is being cut from the civil servants? The 4 million of them, because that is the money they are using to be able to build these houses. So why do we need to budget for it again in the budget cycle? They already have a stream where they are getting the money to build this housing. So they want to put it again in the budget, or what is it? You know, sometimes even I'm confused about the way we are doing things. We seem very confused. And I answered Gypsy kept corner there. I was saying real about corruption. I was talking about Singapore. If people need to change, we need to change those fabrics. If we don't change those things, we are not changing anything. Even if we build roads which are rich in KICC, kuna kitu tunabadilisha. It will be just the same things.
All right, thank you so much, Joseph, for your time. Miguda, what do you think about the comments that were made by Oburu? Does it mean that ODM, as it stands, they do not have hope of even structuring themselves, or even try to fill in a candidate so that can give them a upper bargaining, and they've just decided that we will be there in 2027? You know, what do you think?
Okay. Let me first pass my greetings to Joseph and also respond to him a little bit before I dive in. Joseph, of course, me, if I become a leader, leadership won't change me. Leadership won't give me good life. Me, I've lived both lives. I've lived a good life before. I've lived like a king in my childhood, my teenagers. So, in fact, I've lived better than members of parliament, even before before some of them become members of parliament. We had a good life. So, when leadership comes, the reason why we get into politics, some of us, is because maybe circumstances or the system. It is hard for you to sit back and have a good life, but your fellow people are not having a good life because of the system. So through God and the people, you get yourself into leadership and also try to make it better for the people. Like me personally, I would like to be a diplomat. That has been my dream from my childhood. But right now, things happen and we are in it. So I think going forward, even leadership won't change anything in my life. In fact, it is will curtail my freedom. But to respond to your question, first I want to say that Oburu Odinga, remember, Oburu Odinga is elected. They're putting it like Oburu has been elected to be the Luo leader. Raila was never elected. Raila, it is Jogi, the spirit that is just a match after Jaramogi. But Oburu is look like someone who has been elected, someone who has been appointed, someone who has been made. So Oburu does not have that thing, even if they make him elders of Kaya, elders of Luo, whatever party leader, even the president. He's not having that thing that Raila had. So these are different cases. And when Oburu is presiding, there's a problem in ODM and in Luo Nation. Not Luo Nation. The leaders of Luo and the leaders of ODM, they're the one who are confused because they think that this is Raila era, whereby they could, people respected Raila, not them. But they still think that, look at the current Piny Luo festive, which happened yesterday. Look at the people who turned out compared to last year when Raila was alive. What happened at Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Stadium at Siaya with what happened at Team Lishoinga? They are quite different. People number when Raila was in the show, but in the absence of Raila, people never turn. So these people still think that people love them. People used to vote for, like you have mentioned, Millie, even Junet. They could only be elected because of Raila. Without Raila, no one will elect them. And if that is how Oburu is arguing, that because we are, not we, it is them, the few, the leaders. And watch this space. If it's a matter of President Ruto swallowing ODM or Ruto swallowing Ruto will not swallow the Luo nation. Ruto will only swallow the leadership of the Luo and will swallow the leadership of ODM. As a people, already there are two things. Voter apathy. People will not turn out to vote in large number. Number two, as a people, we cannot get instruction from 20 people. Who is who? Someone is speaking today, this one. We need a proper structure of guidance. We need to take instruction from one command center. and that command center is normal. So right now, the Luo people, we understand them. If they don't like you or don't like something, they don't have to pretend, even if you give them money, what Ruto is doing to them. You can give money to some few people, then they will question. There are some people are saying they cannot follow Wanga. There's some people are saying they cannot follow Buru. There's some people are saying they cannot follow Rengo. So until that time, people will sit together and decide on the leadership, or Allah will just emerge automatically. But this one for Oburu, to me, is like someone who has been appointed, who has been imposed to people. Because we respect him as an elder, we can give him a listening ear. But on how we are going to do our things, that's now personal. That's what I've told you. I want to conquer with Joseph. Joseph talked about the people and the leadership. It is true. You can think that you have taken the people, but you have taken the leadership or the few people. But the people, the real people, the mass movement, those people went to receive Jacom at JKIA. Those people have not gone. It is only few who have gone to Ruto, but the people are intact. Because that's why we are saying vote apathy. If you see people not turning out, it's because they refuse to be swallowed. So I can just say that.
Okay, but we go to the people. But when Oburu was speaking, when you listen to the speech was in two categories. One, he was speaking as somebody from the lake who is leading the lake, as somebody that has been given that mantle to lead the lake. Secondly, he was also speaking as a ODM members. So, and when he says our people, our means like where they are. So where does this one leaves people like Sifuna, Babu Owino, or leave about Babu Owino? Let's say, where does this one leave people like Sifuna, Caleb Amisi, Anthony Kibagendi, those who are not from the Lake region but subscribe to ODM?
Okay, I got your question. So you understand that in ODM is not a local party. ODM used to be a national party whereby we had people like we have said, Sifuna, Caleb Amisi, even people from the coastal. So when a party leader has just concentrated on a particular region, that people from the lakeside, it shows you that it's bargaining for the community. You want to use the community unity for the strength of the community to bargain, which is not the case to me, because you want to prove a point that I'm now the Luo leader. Of course, he is the Luo leader, but he is appointed. What I'm trying to say, he was made by a committee of ODM. So he was proposed, he was made. But a Luo leader is never proposed. A Luo leader is never appointed or elected. He emerges. That's why I'm telling you, he can just persuade the president and other people that we, as the community, we want to bargain on this basis. But what about the real people? The real people, I mean, when I talk about the people, not only Luos, because ODM is of many tribes. It composed of many. So when you select a community, going to bargain with it at the table, in the pretense that I'm the leader of the Luo community, which is not the case. He's not the leader, according to me. Me, I understand. I know when Luos loves you, I know when Jogi descended on you, I understand. I feel it from my heart that actually this is my leader. But Oburu is not my leader. Oburu is not a leader in that region. It's just circumstances that has made him to be where he is. But the real spirit has not descended on him. So we are waiting for the right time, the spirit to descend on the right person. So what I'm trying to say is that by him bargaining with the community and also trying to decline other people, ODM is strong when we all come together. And the strength of ODM has always been not only Luos, but also the coastal, lawyers, and other region. That's why when we talk about unity, we need to bring what we call inclusivity. You bring everybody on board. You can't preach unity, then you select your community. At the same time, you are preaching unity, then you are not comfortable with uprising your leaders. That's why we are saying as a young people, without any fear of contradiction, we are saying without any fear of any consequences that if these people cannot listen to the people, if these people cannot listen to us, we have nothing to lose. They can have their party, they can have their broad-based arrangement, but as we, the people, we will have, even if they're saying, oh, why can't you start your party? But it is not effective. The arrangement between Ruto and ODM is not effective, in my view, because when you meet the people are bored. People are not even interested in what's going on, because like you have asked me the very basic question about 4 billion allocated to Migori County. And like I'm reporting for you authentic information that what is true. I've seen the effect of 900 million. The 900 million which was allocated for the stadium actually is ongoing. There are certain roads which I know by the names which were allocated and they were mentioned. Up to now, those roads, there is no contractor. Then when we ask the CS for the treasury, because he's a friend, what's going on here? It responded to us that let us wait for January. You know, the other time he told us it will be on August. Today, when we meet, he told us that, okay, wait for January. So according to me, it is the government does not always speak the truth. There's some propaganda in it. So if they say 4 billion, maybe it can be 2 billion. But what I can authoritatively report is that 900 million I've seen is very effective. But from my view is that there's the system currently by the ODM people. They think that people love them the way people love them when Raila was alive. That's not the case.
All right. Thank you so much. Mr. Yaka, very aware.
Brother Benson, I wanted to add something on what
Okay, go ahead.
Miguda said.
Mm.
That is exactly what you are seeing in Mount Kenya. You know, people don't understand what you are saying. In Mount Kenya, in 2013, we saw somebody being coronated as a leader of the Kikuyu, not the Gema. People say Gema. There is no. It was the Kikuyu party, Kikuyu side. Embu, they had their own people leaders who they were calling like the likes of Akina Joe Nyaka, and the Meru had their Kiraito Murungi. So the thing that Miguda has said about was it Joy, or he was saying what was the nini? There's something they call that one the spirit that he was saying, the spirit that he was saying. Ours in our name, maybe we call it the Mudegi. And the Mudegi is given to a person who is always customed and always given the leadership of the community. Leave even about presidentialship or something. It's custom the community. And that is what truly happened to Uhuru Kenyatta. But that one never happened to Rigathi Gachagua. Rigathi Gachagua took it politically. He did not take it as the way Miguda is saying here. He did not take it as the community side. He took it as the political side. You can be taking it as the political side, but you're forgetting that you need to be. That's why you hear me when Nani is talking. Gachagua, you hear him saying that I'm an elder in the community. Do you hear him saying I'm a leader in the community? He cannot say I'm the leader. You always hear him saying kingpinship, but you never hear him saying that I'm the definitive leader. He'll say I'm an elder in that community. And nowadays you see him giving praises to Uhuru Kenyatta because still that thing, the Mudegi itself, is still at Uhuru's side. Until when it is going to be relieved. I know even if they do whatever they do, their politics, there is one day where it's going to come and they are going to coronate the Mudegi to somebody. So there is was there. So this kingpinship is just flaws. It's just political battles that are there. But for us as Kikuyus, we have not really gotten the leader that we are, that like the way we did the coronation in 2013. You know, even Moi Kibaki never got that coronation like that. Moi Kibaki came politically in 2002. But Kenyatta had truly had it. And the likes of Akina Matiba truly had it. But the likes of Akina Kibaki, that's why you saw Kibaki was not interested in your cultural affairs. Did you see him in cultural affairs? No, you did not see him. So I think also regarding Gachagua, is that's why it is difficult for him. That's what I wanted to add.
All right, thank you so much for that, Joseph. And I know I started this. I was supposed to be going for 1 hour, but like before we close, let me. Ayaga, how are you doing, my brother? Ayaga. Ayaga. He? Nairobian. Kwani Nairobi huko nini imefanyika? Ayaga. Okay. Because Ayaga is a very strong member of ODM. I wanted to get its view, especially when you saw quite a number of ODM members, including James Nikal. All of them were kind of like sending praises to President William Ruto, which means politically, each and every person has an opportunity to support whoever they want to support. But as a ODM, a party that it has structure and is a big party, if they can reach a point whereby they cannot even say that, okay, let's try and even have a candidate, that one, leaves you with so many answers and questions that you are asking. So, Miguda, okay, Ayaga seems to have gone. There's something wrong with him. Miguda, maybe if you can say your last remark, because there's somewhere that I need to go, and tomorrow we will be here for maybe an hour. Then on Saturday morning, I think I will be with the Mzalendo and Joseph on the recap of the news for the week.
Okay, let me appreciate you for hosting this show, and also appreciate Joseph for coming to the show, Ayaga, Msimamo, and our good friends at the comment section. We'll meet tomorrow, and then of course maybe Monday, because Sunday we are also not. I'm held up somewhere. See you, Bravo Benson. We'll communicate later.
All right, thank you so much. And Kevin Makobura is in Machakos, is handling some issue. He will be here tomorrow. Actually, he might be hosting tomorrow. So Kevin Makobura will be very much around. Joseph, I know I'll see you tomorrow. And I know on sana ya ile ya Saturday morning inakuwaga mzuri sana kwa sababu ile iko na a lot of time and is usually very, very brief, short news. So ndakuona hiyo siku. Sawa.
Yeah. I'll see. I hope I'll have time. I'll come and we'll deliberate on issues. I want to also thank the people in the comment section, all of them.
Yeah.
And good EIC, she's very angry with Gladys Wanga. Ningemwambia tu aende asimame huko Homa Bay. Naona amekasirika na yeye sana, nasikia hataki kuongea na Gladys Wanga. Hataki kuona Gladys Wanga. If you are angry with somebody, mtu anaendaga unachukua hiyo kitu unaanza kucampaign. Mnapatana unyo kwa unyo, unaona kama utashinda hiyo kiti.
Maybe before we wind up on something that is quite much very important, and this is something to do with opposition. One thing that opposition should know, and I've been very, very keen and studying the strategies that actually Ruto has put in place for the opposition. I know Kalonzo, the only fear that President William Ruto right now have is Kalonzo fever. That is, I think, that Kalonzo ticket is one that maybe it gives Ruto question mark, and how should I deal with it? But it is upon the united opposition, if they really want to compete with President William Ruto, if they really want. President William Ruto is not a candidate that you can take on one time, that you want to wait until the last minute. Politically,
I think the problem with the united opposition is just one thing. They are not united, it seems. Yeah. If they'll get into one item and they start even showing who they are going to have as their leader, I think they can be able to marshal up. But now, if you're hearing things being talked left, right, and center, I don't think the center can hold. That is the problem.
Joseph, this is Ayaga, I want to give you a few minutes because I'm almost winding up. This is my issue with the opposition. Some of them are claiming that we cannot put our cards on the table so President William Ruto will know, or whoever will know. there's nothing that we don't know about all these political leaders who in the opposition. There's nothing that you cannot tell me about Kalonzo that I don't know. There's nothing that you can tell me about Rigathi Gachagua, Matiang'i, and all these political leaders that you want to wait until last minute for you to compete with President Pierre. We are just giving our opinion as a political platform and as a media platform based on how we've seen Ruto campaign and his political strength. Ni kama mtu unaona mtu mwenye ashakuwa gym kwa muda mrefu alafu wewe unakuja siku moja unataka ku wrestle this person. It cannot work, because now when you look at President William Ruto, the narrative of Singapore is kicking in everywhere. Is something that people are keeping on mentioning. Ayaga.
Yes. I can hear you. Am I okay? My voice is iko sawa.
Your voice iko sawa, lakini nilikuwa nataka kufunga, lakini nataka kusikia maoni yako. Na maoni yako haswa ni kulingana na yale ambayo yalisemwa. Nadhani ukasikia yale Oburu alisema yote pale, kulingana na ODM kwamba watakuwa kwa serikali ambayo inakuja. Inamaanisha kwamba hawatakuwa na presidential candidate, na wale ambao labda wako na nia tofauti, au unawaweka wapi? Labda kama mwanachama wa ODM, nyinyi hapo mnasema nini?
I think Oburu is being interpreted wrongly. He never said that ODM will not have a presidential candidate. What he said, we will be in the government, or we will be part of the government, or ODM will be the government. So by saying that, I think it is clear that ODM is still on the promise of what Raila said, that we will support the government up to 2027. Then maybe early 2027, 8 months to election, we can have a proper arrangement, either with UDA or with anybody. But if you look those anybody, we don't have any other person. For me now, because I'm going to the ground, I'm seeing and I'm hearing. There is nothing like united opposition. Those are just names that people are saying. And I think Ruto is having a leeway because the opposition are just cloud chasers. The only person who is doing the correct way of how opposition should operate is Ndidi Nyoro. I think that guy, if you listen to him keenly, if you have been keen, it is only Ndidi Nyoro that is doing opposition politics. The rest are just cloud chasers. They just want to go to funeral churches, saying nonsense, things that do not matter. That's why Ruto is coming with a narrative. Nobody is there to counter that narrative. That's why Ruto is saying they don't have brains. If you hear Ruto properly, he has studied these people. If these people have given the opportunity, even a media interview for 1 hour, 30 minutes, Gachagua will tell you nonsense, things about his community, how they disagree with Ruto, what Ruto has not done, what Ruto... Opposition is a government in waiting. You need to have alternative. You need to have a press conference and give your figures the way Raila used to do when he called press conference on top of Capitol Hill. He could counter the narrative of government with facts, and that is what I think the only opposition I know now, and he's doing it, and he's not united. He's just a single human being called Ndidi Nyoro.
Okay.
And if you listen to him, he's even challenging the government, he's challenging the Minister of Finance, he's challenging the Auditor General. He's a good guy, by the way. But the rest is they just go where people are dead, start bringing the conspiracy theory. That's not how you government, my friend. That's not opposition. Those are bitter, hunger-stricken politics that I don't think Kenyans will buy. But for ODM, they will better work with somebody who at least have a little bit organized, not the disorganization you are seeing around. And after they have created those disorganization, they blame the president and UDA for it. Even the election they have lost around here, it is pure disorganization. It is a disorganized opposition. We have disorganized opposition, and we have a man who is playing the opposition role in Didi Nyoro. Then we have Ruto on this side, is the government. So Ruto is having a good way, except you can listen to Ndidi Nyoro, then you will see some character or traits of opposition in him. He's doing it so cool. That's why even Ruto is not answering him. Ruto is busy answering to the people that they even don't know what they are saying. Because Ruto cannot face facts from Didi Nyoro. Those facts he cannot answer. He is better off with those people the way they are saying things and he's answering. But he will never engage in Didi Nyoro. I think you have realized that in recent politics. Didi Nyoro gives fact. Ruto, nobody in UDA is countering him. Even the Minister of Finance, Nyang himself, cannot counter what Ndidi Nyoro is saying. Even about Safaricom, even about the Singapore, his theory. I think that is the guy who is doing opposition politics, and I love him. The disorganized one, they can just continue with their disorganization.
Okay, Ayaga, wacha tukutane on Saturday. Joseph, I hope you're okay, but I think we can meet on Saturday morning and talk about what is happening in the political field and also the opposition and the way they've positioned themselves. Actually, I don't see them. If they are very, very serious that they want to compete with the President William Ruto, they need to go back and re-strategize, come up with the strategies that can really shaken President William Ruto. But with the way they are, I don't think that they can even give Ruto a competition. Ruto is very much ahead of him in terms of messaging and all that. Mr. Joseph, is it okay for us to meet on Saturday?
Yeah, we'll meet on Saturday.
Ayaga, is it okay for you?
Okay, I will be around. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. And to everyone who was on the comment section, thank you so much. And may God bless.